Let's talk about pre-delay for a second. A lot of reverb plugins and some hardware rack mount reverb have a pre-delay setting. What is the pre-delay? Back in the day, before the boxes had enough processing power to recreate real early reflection, or at least real sounding early reflections, what the designers did is they included a pre-delay, meaning you could delay the reverb. Instead of the reverb starting to bloom right when you send signal to it, you could delay that bloom, thus creating the illusion of size, right? Because if you're in a hall, a big room, it's going to take longer for the early reflections to get to your ears than if you're in a small room that actually creates the sound of the room, not the tail, the early reflections. So the idea was, well, if we have a digital reverb and it takes a while for the reverb to happen, then it would feel like the room is bigger and you'll get more of an illusion of space. Did it work? For debate. However, it is nice to be able to push the reverb back. Sometimes you can feel that the reverb crowds the vocal a little bit. Check it out with the plate.
On that day and in that heat.
Hear how it's very tight. It's pretty. What happens if I push it back like 70, 100 milliseconds?
On that day and in that heat.
Notice how on that day, it doesn't slap against the vocal the same? Check it out. I went a little too far. Here.
On that day and in that heat. On that day and in that heat.
It's useful, especially if you have a lot of reverb, like you're making a new Enya record or something. And it's nice to be able to push the reverb back a little bit so there's not so much on it. I don't use pre-delays a lot, but I hear it a lot in records because of mixers being used to the old boxes. With plugins like, for example, the Oxford plugin or a lot of the modern reverb plugins that are not trying to imitate an old box, the modern clean reverb plugins, they have early reflections. So the pre-delay is really kind of irrelevant unless you're trying to recreate the effect of the designer not having early reflections, trying to recreate the early reflections with the pre-delay. But that gets a little deep.